There's a morning that comes for almost everyone past 50. You wake up, you swing your legs off the side of the bed, your feet find the floor, and your body takes 1 second longer than it used to. Nothing hurts, exactly. It's just slower, stiffer. Like someone walked through the house in the night and tightened every hinge in you by half a turn, and you say the same thing I used to say. It's age. That's all it is. It's just age. Let me be careful here, because I'm not selling you a miracle. What you feel in that first minute of the morning is very often not the years. It's a fire, a small one, low, quiet, burning in you for years with no smoke and no pain sharp enough to send you to a doctor. Science finally gave it a name. They call it inflammaging. And here's the part almost nobody says out loud. Some of what feeds that fire is in your kitchen right now, and so is some of what puts it out. Before I go further, let me guess something about you. You've already tried. That's the part nobody gives you credit for. You cut something. Sugar, maybe. Bread. The wine on Friday night. You held on for 11 days, or 3 weeks, and then a birthday happened, and a hard week happened, and you went back. And somewhere in there, quietly you decided the problem was you, your discipline, your character. It wasn't. The problem was that nobody ever explained what you were fighting. You were told to eat less. You were never told what the fire was, or what it eats. So let's start there. It takes 2 minutes, and then everything else in this video makes sense. Inflammation is not your enemy, it's your rescue crew. Cut your finger in the kitchen, and inflammation is what shows up. Redness, heat, swelling. Your body sending an ambulance. It arrives, it does the work, it leaves. That's how it's supposed to go. That's a fire in the fireplace, doing its job and going out. The other kind doesn't leave. It's not a fire in the fireplace. It's a fire in the basement. No flame you can see. Just heat, year after year, under the floorboards of a house you're still living in. And because you can't see it, you explain it away. The knee that talks to you on the stairs. The hands that need warm water before they work in the morning. The 3 o'clock tiredness that arrives like clockwork. The belly that stopped answering to the things that used to work. The cut that takes longer to close than it did at 40. Each one, on its own, is nothing. Together, they're a pattern, and the pattern has a source. Researchers have been measuring this for decades. They look for markers in the blood, things with cold names like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, and what they keep finding is that the people whose numbers run high are the ones whose joints wear faster, whose arteries stiffen sooner, whose memory slips earlier. Same age, different fire. Now, before we go into the 7, one small thing, and I say it because you matter to me more than the video does. Stay with me for these next minutes, because everything I'm about to give you is simple, cheap, and sitting in any ordinary supermarket. There's nothing here you have to order from a website. That's the whole point. And I want you to know what's coming on this channel, so you're never lost. These next days, we stay with the body. What you eat, how you sleep, how you carry yourself through a day. After that, we're changing the subject, and we're going somewhere harder. We're going to talk about relationships, love after 50, the marriages that went quiet, the children who call less than you'd like, the friendships that thinned out without anybody deciding anything. I'll always tell you before the subject changes, so you can decide whether you want to walk that road with me. That's a promise, and I keep it. Follow the channel so this doesn't depend on luck. This is a small place, and it grows because people like you stay. Your presence here is not a number to me. Now, the fire and the 7 things that quiet it. 1. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, the oily ones. The ones your grandmother probably ate without ever knowing why. Inside them are 2 fats with initials EPA and DHA, and they do something remarkable. They don't only fight inflammation, your body turns them into the signal that tells inflammation to stop. The researchers call those signals resolvers. The word is right. Your body doesn't just need a way to start the fire, it needs a way to end it. And after 50, the ending is the part that stops working well. 2 servings a week, that's it. That's the whole instruction. And if fresh salmon is expensive where you live, hear this clearly. A tin of sardines does the same work for a fraction of the price, bones and all, which is calcium you're not getting easily anywhere else. There's no prize for the expensive version. Nobody's handing out medals in the fish aisle. Think of it this way, your body still knows how to call the ambulance. What it forgets, with age, is how to send it home. 2. Extra virgin olive oil. Not the light one, not the blend, extra virgin, and preferably the one in the dark bottle. There's a compound in it called oleocanthal. It's the reason a good olive oil catches at the back of your throat. That little peppery scratch that almost makes you cough. That scratch is the medicine. Researchers found that oleocanthal works on the same enzyme pathway as ibuprofen. I'm not telling you to throw away your medication. Please don't. I'm telling you that the burn at the back of your throat is not a flaw in the oil. It's the whole point. Most people spend their lives buying the smooth one and throwing the good part away. 2 or 3 spoonfuls a day, raw, over what you already eat. On the salad, over the beans, on bread instead of butter. You don't need a new diet, you need a better bottle. 3. Deep colored berries. Blueberries, blackberries, cherries, strawberries. Anything with that dark, stubborn color that stains your fingers. That color has a name, anthocyanin, and it isn't decoration. A plant makes that pigment to protect itself from the sun, from stress, from damage. When you eat it, you borrow the protection. Frozen counts. I want to be clear about that because I know what fresh berries cost. Frozen fruit is picked ripe and frozen the same day, and the pigment doesn't care about the temperature. A handful in the morning, in yogurt, in oatmeal, or cold, straight from the bag. And there's something about berries that has nothing to do with chemistry. They're one of the few foods that force a person to slow down. Nobody eats a bowl of cherries in a hurry. 4. Dark leafy greens and the cabbage family. Spinach, kale, collards, arugula, watercress. And beside them, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. The greens bring folate, vitamin K, magnesium. The quiet minerals, the ones that never make it onto a magazine cover. The cabbage family brings something else entirely, a compound called sulforaphane, which turns down the master switch that keeps cells inflamed. One thing worth knowing, and almost nobody is told, broccoli boiled to death loses most of it. Steam it until it's bright green, and still argues a little with the fork. The color is telling you the truth. When broccoli goes soft and gray-green, most of what you wanted has gone down the drain with the water. And greens every day. Not a salad on Sunday when you're being good. Every day, in small amounts. That's the difference between a gesture and a habit, between something you do for your conscience and something you do for your body. 5. Turmeric. The yellow root, the one that stains everything it touches and never lets go. Its active compound is curcumin, and it's been studied more than almost any other spice on earth. It interferes with a protein that works like a master switch for hundreds of inflammatory genes. Trials have measured real drops in inflammatory markers in people with metabolic problems. But there's a catch, and it's the reason most people get nothing out of it. Curcumin on its own is barely absorbed. It goes in and it comes right back out. Unless you do two things, add black pepper and add fat. The piperine in black pepper multiplies the absorption many times over, and curcumin dissolves in fat, not in water, which is why the old kitchens got it right long before the laboratories did. Turmeric in hot oil with pepper. Nobody published a paper, somebody's grandmother just knew. And that's true of most of what I'm telling you today. We didn't discover any of this. We only proved it. Let me stop for a second, because I don't want to lose the chance. If you're still here with me, this far in, you're not the kind of person who watches things halfway. So let me say it plainly. Subscribe to this channel and come with me these next days. Not for me, for the version of you that's still building something at this age, while the world quietly decided you were finished. Turn the bell on so an algorithm doesn't get to decide whether we see each other again. And leave me a word in the comments while you're here. Tell me which of these 7 was already in your kitchen, sitting there all along, and you never knew what it was doing for you. I read them. I read all of them. Now, the last 2. And I saved them on purpose, because these are the 2 people skip. They're the cheapest ones on the list, and they're the ones the body remembers longest. 6. Walnuts. Not the mixed bag, the walnut specifically. It's the only common tree nut with a serious amount of plant omega-3, and in a 2-year study in older adults, 2 years, not 2 weeks, the people who ate walnuts every day showed measurable drops in 2 of the main inflammatory markers in the blood. A small handful, 5 or 6 halves. That's a portion, not a bowl in front of the television. And I'll tell you what I love about the walnut. And it isn't the chemistry. It's an old person's food. It's what people ate when food was seasonal and hard-won, and nobody on earth had heard the word antioxidant. Something in us worked this out long before we could explain it. 7. Ginger. Fresh, if you can. The knobby root. Not the powder that's been in the cupboard since a Christmas you can't quite place. Gingerols and shogals. The compounds that give it the heat. Studied for joint pain, for sore muscles, for the stomach. Around 2 grams a day is where the research tends to sit, and 2 grams is a piece the size of your thumb. Grated into hot water with lemon, into soup, into the rice while it cooks. And here's the honest part about ginger. It's the one that works slowly. You will not feel it tomorrow. You may feel it in 8 weeks, in the shape of something that stopped bothering you so quietly that you never noticed the day it left. Which is how this whole thing works, if I'm being truthful with you. Nothing announces itself. One more word before I close, and it's the kind of word a friend gives you and a salesman never does. If you take blood thinners, if you're on medication for your heart, your blood pressure, your thyroid, Talk to your doctor before you go loading up on fish oil, ginger and turmeric all at once. These things are food, but they're active. Active is the entire reason they work. Take this list to your next appointment. A good doctor will be glad you asked. And notice what isn't on this list. I never told you to stop eating. I never handed you a forbidden list. I never asked you to weigh anything or count anything. Because the truth is less dramatic than the internet wants it to be. You don't put out that fire by subtraction. You put it out by what you keep adding. On ordinary days, when nobody is watching and nothing feels like it's working. I want to come back to that morning. The one where your feet find the floor and your body takes its extra second. Here's what I've come to believe. After years of watching people my age either soften into their chairs or quietly refuse to. That extra second isn't a verdict. It's a message. And for most of your life, you were taught to answer messages from your body with silence, or with a pill, or with the sentence we all learned to say without thinking. It's just age. 3 words that have closed more doors than any illness ever did. Because a body that's slowing is not the same thing as a body that's finished. And a house with a fire in the basement is not a house you have to leave. It's a house somebody has to go down there for. Nobody's coming to do that for you. Not at this age. Your children have their own houses now, and their own basements, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. But you're still here. You still cook. You still stand in front of an open refrigerator 2 or 3 times a day and make a decision, and you've been making that decision on autopilot for 30 years. That's the whole thing. That's all any of this ever was. The olive oil instead of the other one, the tin of sardines on the shelf, a handful of something dark enough to stain your hands, pepper on the yellow root, small, unglamorous, repeated, nothing you can photograph, nothing anybody will applaud. And then 6 months from now, you'll walk up a flight of stairs and reach the top thinking about something else entirely. And you won't remember this day. That's the strangest part of getting better. Getting worse announces itself. Getting better arrives in silence and takes the credit with it. If this reached you today, do 3 things for me. Follow this channel and stay with me these next days. The body first, and then we turn toward relationships. I'll warn you before we turn that corner. You'll never be surprised here. Send this to 5 people, not 50, 5. The 5 whose stares you've noticed. You know exactly who they are. You thought of 2 of them while I was talking. And leave me a real comment. Not a kind one, a real one. Tell me what your body has been trying to say to you lately, and tell me what you want me to talk about next. I choose subjects from those comments more often than you'd think. I'll be here. Take care of the fire.